Alrighty. Welcome to the committee. Welcome to Community Preservation Committee meeting at City Council hearing room, One Government Center, Fall River. Monday, March 20th, 6:33. You can catch the meeting through Channel 18, Government TV, Facebook, or live stream. Pursuant to the open meeting laws, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit the meeting through any medium. Attendees are therefore advised that such recordings or transmissions are being made whether perceived or unperceived by those present and deemed knowledge and permissible. We'll start with roll call. We'll start with the Zoom. Caroline?
Present, attending through Zoom.
Chris?
Yep, Kristen Cantara Oliver attending remotely by Zoom.
Victor?
Victor Farias, remote by Zoom.
Okay.
Joanne Bentley present.
Alexander Silva present.
John Brandt present.
Richard Calderon present.
Rick Mancini, present.
And we also have Craig from Fall River TV, and we have Sandy Dennis, Administrative Assistant. Let's see, any citizen input tonight? No citizen input. Can I have a motion for approval of minutes of March 13th, 2023 meetings? Minutes?
I'll make a motion for the approval minutes of March 13, 2023.
A second.
Second that motion.
Okay. Caroline?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Vic?
Yes.
Joanne will start.
Joanne Bentley, yes.
Alexander Silva, yes.
John Brandt, yes?
Richard Calderon, yes.
Rick Mancini, yes.
Okay. Our agenda will be going with our score sheet. We didn't get some information back, so some projects had to fall off. So we'll be starting with the highest by our voting, which is, we're going to be starting with Adirondack Farm Bioreserve Discovery Center, got the lowest, 10 points.
Which means it was the highest ranked.
The highest ranked. They're looking for, mixed up here. $141,329 for acquisition of,
Main parcel.
so in this will be, in the grant, we'd be putting 7.1 acres of conservation land. Let's see what else would be in there. Plus 2 acres of residential portion containing a single-family Cape Cod farm. Is there any construction on this that we need to put in?
Yeah, I don't
No.
think so. No.
Am I missing anything that we have to include on that?
There was a family grave site there also.
That would be
In that land.
Conservation.
Yeah.
land.
conservation, yeah, that'd be in that 7.1 acres. Okay. So can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
The price, the 141,329, are we voting just on that, or are we still putting the amount for the deed restriction in that?
Nope, we have to include the deed restriction and,
So we have to add to that total,
right, so, Sandy, that's 605 we put in with the deed restriction and attorney fees, right?
That includes 500
Okay, so in Adirondack Farms, we need a motion to acquire the 7.1 conservation land, the 2 acres and the single family. Plus we have to attach the deed restriction and attorney, which is 605, so the total,
It's 141,934. So $141,934. that breaks down into what the CPC's given is $141,329, and then the cost of the deed restriction with attorney fees of $605 brings it to $141,934. If somebody wants to double check the math.
Okay,
That's the correct amount.
okay.
Thank you.
So can I have a motion for that, or any more discussion?
I'll make a motion that we accept the fees for the acquisition.
Okay,
And the project.
in a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, roll call vote, we'll start with Caroline,
Yes.
Chris,
Kristen Cantara Oliveri, yes.
Vic,
Victor Faris, yes.
Joanne Bentley, yes.
Alexander Silva, yes.
John Brandt, yes?
Richard Calderon, yes.
Rick Mancini, yes.
Okay. Next on the list is the St. John Baptist Ukrainian Catholic Church.
Could you explain the accessibility feedback you got from Stuart? Because I think it would pertain to something with this, maybe.
If we want, we could include it with the, speaking with Stuart on the preservation, when you go to Secretary of Standards, new code restrictions and all that fall under standards of rehabilitation, which allows us for handicap accessibility and access to that, to meet the new code restrictions and all that to get into the building.
Mr. Chair, for anyone that's watching, who's Stewart again?
Stuart Saginaw is, he's a advisor for CPA Coalition.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see here.
So, can I just
Go ahead, yep.
So this project in the eligibility phase asked for some accessibility things in their project scope that I requested they take out because the committee was under the impression that accessibility projects didn't fall under historic preservation. So in the interest of fairness, if the committee feels, and I'm not saying anyone or myself does, if the committee feels that accessibility projects such as this is in general for historic preservation projects would qualify, I would just ask to consider the original scope and the eligibility that asked for the ramp. I believe it was inside though, so this is another question for debate. It was an interior ramp for the basement bathroom and a accessibility, I think, hand railing that they eliminated out of the scope. So if the committee is leaning towards accessibility projects and historic preservation grants is an okay thing to do, I would just ask for fair consideration for this project because they did listen to the initial request and removed it from the scope. The both requested amounts were $58,000, so I don't think we have to change the amount. In the eligibility application, I think they pulled out the bathroom for a cost of $6,000, so since the cost is the same, I don't know if they made that up in, contingency or whatever, but it would maybe be plus or minus $6,000 is my point.
My input to that, I'll definitely like to make the motion to include that in because it should be part of that. If we're gonna be fair, we should be fair across the board for all projects.
Okay. Do you have the, I don't, right now I see we'd be including in the, would be masonry work, removing loose bricks, replacing, repointing. We'd be doing, window work, painting window sills inside, outside.
Could you just start that over, please? I'm gonna try and
Okay.
take everything in case people want the motions read back. Masonry work, repairing loose brick.
Yep. Repointing, power washing. Then it includes painting all windows, trim, upper, lower doors, both sides. some replacement, priming, caulking, and,
Repairing of the cupola.
repairing of the cupola. Inside, with plexiglass, there'll be, cleaning that, recaulking, painting exterior walls. The bell tower. Let's see, trim. That's included. Porch rails, and then handicap accessible for the bathrooms.
It's a ramp in the basement rear, I believe, and a railing too.
Yeah.
Did you get a
Plus-
second on his
Hmm?
motion? Did you get a second on? his
No,
motion?
plus we have to add in the deed restriction for preservation, historic preservation.
So, Richard, you said you would make a motion to include it in the scope? Or
Yes.
is that your,
So the original amount that was submitted for the funding for the ramp, I would like to make a motion to approve that.
okay, it was 58,000, just so everyone, it was the original amount still, it's just.
Okay.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Roll call vote or any discussion?
I just have a quick, so the total amount, I mean, I got the paperwork, I'm scrambling now, but, so it was the original total amount was 58,000?
Yes. we
Yeah,
have to
I
add.
specifically brought the eligibility application just in case.
Yeah,
and
okay, I
it was
just wanted to
still
make sure.
58,000, if
Okay,
you
so it
wanna
was
see it.
50. No,
Says it right
I
there.
believe you, brother.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
just wanted to make sure I was looking at the same thing, I'm like,
Yeah, and
I'm
it-
scrambling through all my,
And it said 6,000, I think was the cost of the bathroom, but it's the same total, so, you know, if they could have shifted that towards contingency or based on the estimates that they got from.
so it's
contractors.
58,000 in total, which includes the 6,000, correct?
Yes.
So be,
Which
well,
does not
but do-
include this.
It does not. It included it originally in the eligibility application, but that was removed in the funding application
Okay,
for the
so-
same amount. So, we could do it any way we prefer. We could just add it back into the scope with the same amount, or add 6,000 that was originally in the eligibility for it.
So I would like to make a motion, I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, to include it now, which will be a total of $64,000. That's not including the deed restriction, which when the board approves it, then we'll include the deed restriction, if I can get a second. Just to simplify the
I'll
process.
second that.
okay.
I'll second that. So the total would be
Yeah, so it-
64,000.
64,000, so 58,000 plus 6,000.
And the 605.
Yeah, I think the 605 will include it, unless you guys want to include it now.
Include it now. that
Okay,
way.
so
Yeah,
so the total would be $64,605 in total for the project.
Okay.
and
If
I'll
I can-
second that.
Second that, okay. Roll call vote. Caroline?
Caroline Alpin, yes.
Chris?
Kristen Cantara Oliveri, yes.
Vic?
Victor Paris, yes.
Joanne Bentley, yes.
Alexander Silva, yes.
John Brandt, yes?
Richard Calderon, yes.
Rick Mancini, yes.
I don't think, did we put Adirondack Farms under open space?
Not in the motion.
Okay. Can I have we should go back and make sure we put that in a motion that Adirondack Farms is under open space?
Okay.
Can we have
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
a second on that?
Second.
Roll call vote, just putting the Adirondack Farms under open space. Caroline?
Caroline Alpin, yes.
Chris?
Kristen Cantara Oliveri, yes.
Vic?
Victor Paris, yes.
Joanne Bentley, yes.
Alexander Silva, yes.
John Brandt, yes?
Richard Calderon, yes.
Rick Mancini, yes.
John,
We have to go back in historic preservation for the St. John Baptist.
Well, I think we did,
We didn't put it
in the
under.
motion, though.
Yeah, no.
Okay, and while we're on that, the St. John's Baptist, if we could make a motion to put that under historic preservation?
I'll make a
I'll make a
motion.
motion to put that Historic Preservation.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call vote, Caroline?
Caroline Alban, yes.
Chris?
Kristen Cantara Oliveri, yes.
Vic?
Victor Farias, yes.
Joanne Bentley, yes.
Alexander Silva, yes.
John Brandt, yes.
Richard Calderon, yes.
Rick Mancini, yes.
Alrighty. Okay, up next is North Burial Grounds, which would fall under historic preservation. They got a score of 13. This would be funding for restoration of existing iron vehicular gates. I don't think there's any electrical. So in that would be to replace the existing gates, including masonry work, iron work, and with the 605 deed restriction. Any discussion on that?
Do you have a deed restriction from previous?
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Oh, we do have a deed,
Yeah,
yep,
I was
so
gonna say you
deed
can't put another
restriction we won't
restriction.
need on this one.
There's already one on there.
Yep.
That's what
we
I was
don't-
thinking.
We don't have to double bill them. Okay, okay, there was no discussion? All right, can I have a motion to fund?
I'll make a motion that we approve the North Burial Ground fence gate repair
Under historic preservation.
under preservation.
For 110.
For 110,000.
Second?
I'll second that.
Okay, roll call vote, Caroline?
Caroline Alban, yes.
Chris?
Kristen Cantara Oliveri, yes.
Vic?
Victor Farias, yes.
Joanne Bentley, yes.
Alexander Silva, yes.
John Brandt, yes?
Richard Calderon, yes.
Rick Mancini, yes.
Okay. Up next is the Dr. Fisk House.
I have to recuse myself because I'm on the board of directors.
Okay.
We gotta figure out when, in a case like that, who's gonna take meeting minutes.
Sandy takes.
Oh. No, I don't say that just so the public knows. In case someone's watching.
All right, this. Let's see, Dr. Fisk House is looking for $79,200. This will include windows on the east and west side, storm windows and shutters, installation cost included. I don't think there's anything we're missing on that. Am I missing any repairs that they're adding to that? Anyone notice? No? Okay.
And they won't need a deed restriction either, because
They
they
have a
already
deed
have one.
restriction already in place. Yeah, I don't think it's in, okay. So I guess we need a motion for the Dr. Fisk House under historic preservation for windows on the east and west side, including painting, installation. If I can have that motion?
I'll make a motion to fund for Dr. Fisk House for historic preservation for $79,200 for windows on the east and west side, and was it painting?
Painting, installation, repair work, yeah.
Painting, installation, and repair work. I'll make that motion.
Okay.
I'll
I'll second.
Okay. Roll call vote, we'll start Caroline.
Caroline Alban, yes.
Chris?
Kristen Cantara Oliveri, yes.
Vic? Is that a yes?
Vic, you muted. Vic, you muted.
On here it says 87.
That's the old number.
That's the old, oh, okay. Yes.
Okay.
Joanne Bentley, yes.
John Brandt, yes?
Richard Calderon, yes.
Rick Mancini, yes.
Okay, passes under preservation. All right, Alex, step on back up. Next on the item is the Watuppa Rowing Club. Docklands and Marking, they're looking for $135,000 to do their project. In this, I would like to include in the deed restriction, that they said they would give lessons to Far River students and stuff, so I would like to see that, where we have some teeth into it, so that they're gonna, like a 10-year restriction where they're gonna give the free classes and stuff, you know, just to hold them a little accountable.
Yeah, if we can get something in writing.
Yeah.
I think that's
We
pretty.
include that in the, you know, because it's
That's
Public
very-
Monday, and I think they should be, you know.
It's very broad, though. It needs to be specific, if anything.
So I think they have a board, so I think if the board writes the CPC a letter saying, you know, a 10-year agreement that they will, all City of Fall River kids can attend, you know, their classes for free.
Okay. So in this,
So Alex just put, so if the board takes a vote on it, approves it, and then submits a letter from the chair and the vice chair.
yeah, we can, we'll put that in our grant, and then we'll get a response back from them. But they would have to give us that to get the money, so.
Correct.
Can you
Would
just
you need to
repeat
put
the-
an age, like
Yeah, could
kindergarten
you just
through
repeat the
12?
wording of that? I want to make sure I get
Sure.
everything
So
clear.
I believe it. I don't want to assume, but I think that they do have a board. If they do have a board, the board should take a vote on it. Once the board takes a vote on it, that they submit a letter from the board stating that there will be a 10-year all City of Fall River kids can attend classes at their facility for free.
Okay. Plus in the 135 would be covering the equipment for 6 lanes.
We never, can I?
Sure, go ahead.
I just have concerns with that, because I don't think we've expressed that to them beforehand. It's still very broad, 10 years for all City of Fall River kids to attend classes, doesn't specify which classes, doesn't specify what constitutes as, you know, Fall River kid, is that Fall River public school system or Fall River resident? And then they're attend for free. I don't know if they'll agree to that.
Well, they said in their application that kids would get free classes and use.
But it just
So-
wasn't like all Fall River kids, you know, like every.
I
Well,
took it as all,
Fall
I
River
took it as all
residents, I
Fall
mean-
River residents, yeah. I say
I
if
mean,
you're a resident.
If you're a taxpayer and you're gonna pay $135 for a rowing, which I think is a great idea because it's gonna get kids out onto the water, which is a great place, I think we should make it some teeth.
Yeah,
in it,
resident of
Yeah.
Fall River.
I would
For kids,
probably,
you know.
I would probably be more comfortable saying something like pending a letter from their board proposing some sort of free program for Fall River kids that we ratify or approve.
Well, depending is, we're giving them the money. So I think we should say that we want 10 years. There's gotta be a value to the citizens of Fall River.
Yeah.
So if we're giving 135,000, that's 13,000 worth of kids using a year. That's how I look at it, you know. We gotta get
Yeah,
our
I think
money
it gets
back.
tricky when you try to narrow it down, like you can't say, well, these kids can and these kids can't.
Right.
A kid is a kid at the end of the day,
Yeah.
you know? I mean, that's the way I look at it. I don't know about
Right.
anybody else. I mean, that's, if you're a resident of Fall River and that means that you're the person that's taking care of these kids are paying taxes to the city, well, they should be allowed since we're funding this project. That's the way I look at it. I mean, again, I'm just
Yeah.
speaking for myself, not for anyone else.
In their application, they have the Watuppa Rowing Center has been built on offering free rowing to any and all students on an all-inclusive basis.
Yeah, why don't we just read that into a motion for,
Yeah, and then I
with
also,
stipulation 10 years?
I also have something to add to this too as well. And I'm not sure how any other member feels about it. And I mean, I know that they're a new applicant, versus some of the other applicants that come in front of the board a lot of times. I didn't see that the applicant put any contingency on there. Is there, because the total amount is $135,000, but is the 10% contingency included on there or no?
He did put that in there, yeah.
He did. Okay, I just wanted to make sure if he did.
We had
And I would just think,
included, travel for the company, the lines, the weights, everything.
okay, as long as it's in,
labor.
I just wanted to make sure, because if not, I wanted to make a motion and see if we can add it. But okay, perfect.
Okay, so you're all, so we're gonna make the motion to fund the 135 for the line, all labor, 10 years for kids to use the facility, and that goes under open space. Deed restriction 605, so the total would be 135, 605. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Can we place a deed restriction on city property?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you can.
Yeah.
But how will that work if they're leasing it?
Right.
You can't, so if someone's leasing, like, so let's say they closed up shop and left tomorrow, the deed restriction's on the city, not on the,
Our
on the
deed
person.
restriction probably mainly gonna be the 10 years of,
Right, no, that's what I'm saying, it's,
So,
it's an agreement, I look at it as an
So-
agreement, but yeah,
Can-
the,
Would it be wise to put the restriction on the equipment rather than the deed restriction on the property?
well, we
on
can
the
put it on
Wouldn't
the
it be-
property too.
Yeah, because that's
Wouldn't
what
we
we're.
put it on the club itself?
Yeah, we put
Like
it
the
on the rowing
Watuppa
club,
Rowing Club
yeah.
itself?
We put the deed restriction on the rowing club, yeah.
Yeah, not on the actual property, but the deed restriction is on the rowing club itself, and this is, you know, because if they're not there anymore, if for some reason they're not leasing the property anymore, then obviously there's, you know, you won't need deed restriction because they're not doing it.
Right, so it'd be on the Watuppa
Well,
Rowing
yeah.
For as
Club.
long as they lease the property.
So if this is
Yeah.
under open space and recreation, it would be what, a conservation deed restriction, which I don't think really applies to this project. Are we talking about a grant contingency? I don't know if that would necessarily be a deed restriction. It could be just a contingency in the grant award where, you know, if they don't do something, they have to pay the full amount back, similar to if someone under historic preservation doesn't do something they're supposed to, they are liable to pay the whole amount back. I think that would be more accurate. I don't think it would technically be a deed restriction. And it's under open space and recreation, so all I know of is conservation deed restrictions. I don't know of any recreation-centric deed restrictions that we've put on in the past.
Yeah, in the past, if you recall, on parks, we don't put deed restrictions on them, like playground equipment. We haven't put deed restrictions on those. And this would be under recreation more than open space, just for my own clarification.
Okay,
Want to know.
so we wouldn't
So then we
necessarily.
don't need the 605 extra?
no,
No, no.
no.
Okay.
We don't put 'em on.
Well, do we have to, when we fill, the agreement with the 10 years, would that be a restriction that would have to be?
It wouldn't be, yeah, it's just a restriction, and I mean, we call it agreement.
Put 'em in the
Could-
contract.
We can call it a MOU, you know, where it's just basically an agreement that we use in public service, where it's
Well,
an
we wouldn't have
agreement
to
between
file that
two
with-
entities, you know?
We would have to have legal draw that up, right?
Could we not just take a restriction on the cost of the equipment into this particular document solely? Then the document becomes an official document, and if there is a relinquishing of the property or the club, all of that property would revert back to us, because it would be in this legal document.
We've never done that, like on playgrounds,
Yeah.
we've never done that. We've never put a deed restriction like on a playground.
Yeah, this gets tricky because it's in the
City,
water.
city-owned,
So-
yeah, my only thing is I wanna make sure the 10 years is, so I think they would still have to have a lawyer draw all that up. We don't have to file with the,
You might wanna just include it in the contract in your agreement, just
Mhm.
include that
Okay.
in your agreement when
That's-
you're doing the description of your project.
all right, so we just include it in the
And then
agreement.
you can check
Right.
with corporation counsel to make sure it's correct, because he has to review all these anyway.
Okay, all right, that sounds like it works.
Yeah, that's, yes,
All right.
that's right. The contract would be substantial.
Right in the grant agreement,
Sure.
okay, all right. So we're all, we had a motion?
I'm just gonna say, I support the project, but I don't particularly support the 10-year restriction. I think that they've proven that they offer the programs up until this point for 4 years for free for all of our students. And as it says in their mission that they intend to do so, I think they probably will intend to come back for more funding. And if they still haven't met these, these requirements that you would set, that would be liable, that would be up to them for any additional funding. But I don't think it would necessarily, I don't think it's warranted to say.
Well, I think for the public, I think it should be in there. I mean, otherwise, they're gonna be like, we gave them $135,000 for a rowing club that's, because if you hear people talking about, this is gonna be a good thing, because they're gonna teach our kids when they're young, they'll get into the sport, so I think we should have some teeth in it that says they're gonna continue.
I hear you, Alex, but I agree with you, John. Putting that in this contract document stipulating 10 years makes it binding.
Yeah.
You don't know what the rowing club board will do in a year
Yeah,
or
they
two.
could change the
or three.
chairman and-
That's right, they could they could take a vote, change their criteria. So writing that in would solidify the 10 years for Fall River
Yeah.
students, or for the youth, just in the contract.
So
Yeah,
I
it's an
can,
agreement.
so, and hearing, my colleagues to the right and to the left, and thinking about it, maybe we can all meet in the middle. I know the lease that they have, I think there's 6 years left, I think either 6 or 4.
6.
So why don't we say 6 years? Because let's say if we do 10 and the city doesn't lease the property, what do they do? I mean, they gotta go somewhere. What if they try to find somewhere else in the city and they can't? And I'm just kind of throwing that out there to all my colleagues, all my board members to see what, I would just say do a 6, because if the lease.
Yeah, that
is a
makes
6,
more sense.
All right,
because, so.
well, we'll tie it in with the lease then, we'll do
Yeah.
6 years for the kids.
I don't think they're going anywhere. I mean, that's just my own opinion. I think this is great for the city. I think what this board is doing is just helping them start that core foundation that they need. I do agree with my colleague to the left, Mr. Sylvia, that I think they will probably come back for more funding. And I think this is a great program. I really, really do. I mean, I lived in Boston and I seen it growing up, and I think it's
Yeah.
great. It's gonna diversify the city in a way that folks will never imagine. Bringing all kinds of folks from all over the country,
Oh, yeah.
all big top colleges, and just the revenue streams from restaurants to hotels to someone out in in the Midwest would be like, I know the city of Fall River.
Yeah.
That's good.
But I think getting the kids in there early, because we vote yes on
Yeah.
this, I'll have a ton of calls coming in, and this way I at least can say that we did our,
Due diligence.
yeah, and we connected where, yes, they are gonna continue to teach kids how to row and use the rowboats and stuff, so.
Absolutely.
I think it's a great opportunity with this and the farm we just did. It's getting kids to enjoy our outdoors.
Yeah.
And that's what CPC is about, so, okay, so, can someone wanna put that in a motion now?
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
Okay.
Yeah. if someone wants to second that, unless you want me to repeat the whole thing.
No, I'll second that original motion.
So just for clarity, are we saying, can you read the verbiage? So the verbiage that was, they were
Put that
submitted in the
verbiage in.
application.
Yeah, so the verbiage that's in the application, and then we'll do we'll call it a restriction or, or MAU, an agreement that, we'll tie it back to their original lease of 6 years that, that the kids will be able to attend classes for free.
And that covers the rolling lanes, equipment, labor, travel expense.
I don't know that we covered.
And what's the total amount that we're funding? Is it just the, is it the 135? So there's no deed restriction, correct?
No, because there's no parcel.
No
there's
extra
land,
605.
There's no house.
Okay.
you know,
What travel
building.
expenses did you just read?
Well, it's
Okay.
labor, it's back and forth, they charge,
The contractor, you mean?
Yeah.
The company that sets it
Yeah.
up is John.
So that's part of the construction, if you want to call that.
yeah,
Contract for the rolling lanes and equipment.
yeah.
It's a dock too, right?
The dock is there, but
In the application, right? Or already in the,
no, they have a dock
Okay.
there. So they're just running the lines from the dock, 6 lanes.
607.
6.
under recreation.
Recreation.
And just for clarification, the verbiage in the application is the Watuppa Rowing Center has been built on offering free rowing to any and all students on an all-inclusive basis.
For the city of Fall River, kids or students.
Okay.
I would just say kids because that gets a little tricky when you just say student. I would just leave it as kids.
Yeah.
You don't want to categorize. You want to just kind of just vaguely just say,
Alrighty, so, we're settled,
make a motion to approve,
motion, we had a second,
then a roll call.
Who was the second? Sorry.
Rick was the second.
Mr. Massini.
So roll call, Caroline,
Caroline Alban, yes.
Chris,
Kristen Cantara Oliveri, yes.
Vic,
Victor Farias, yes.
Joanne Bentley, yes.
Alexander Silva, yes.
John Brandt, yes.
Richard Calderon, yes.
Rick Mancini, yes.
Okay. Next would be the Greater Fall River Arts Association. Under the standards of rehabilitation, we can do the lift, which we have done in the past at the Lafayette House, and the addition of the handicap bathroom is allowable. So they're looking for 253 is the new total. Is that right?
I thought it was 265.
I thought that was the old one. Is it 265, Sandy, or is it?
It's 253 in the new application. The agenda's
Two-
wrong, Kristen.
253?
Oh, okay, 253.
253, which would include the outdoor lift, electrical work installation, then the handicap bathroom, which would be from studs to plumbing to electric to the toilet needs. The total on that would be 253.
Is there a D restrict? Does that already have a
Deed
D
restriction
restriction?
from last year, so
Yeah, they already have one, okay.
they wouldn't need the deed restriction. Am I missing anything that should be in that grant agreement?
Didn't they include 12 of the windows?
Yeah, don't forget
Oh,
that.
also they had 18 windows on the 3rd floor that need replacing.
12.
Is it, I think it's 12?
12?
Is it 12?
18.
18?
18, okay. So can we have a motion to fund? That be go under historic preservation.
Okay, I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
For the Arts, Greater Forever Arts Association for the handicap bathroom, the handicap lift, outdoor lift, and the 18 windows to be refurbished on the 3rd floor.
Okay.
Isn't there a stairwell?
There's a back staircase.
I don't think that was in, well, the back staircase was the porch readjustment, I believe.
Where do you have it?
New exteriors.
New exterior stair to address accessibility concerns regarding uniformity and a new accessible toilet. So I think there is a stairway.
Stairway for
The back.
the back bathroom?
No, the back entrance, to get out by the back.
Where we're gonna put the ramp.
That's
Lift.
outside, this is
The ramp-
inside.
No, the ramp may not go there. Mike Keane is supposed to decide the best place for it, but it probably isn't gonna be the back because it would be a lot more cumbersome to try and do it off the back because of the size of the doorways. It will likely be off the front, but they do still need to fix the back stairs, I believe, to make them more uniform.
Yeah, if you look in the,
And that's what was written there.
if you look in their cost estimate, it's a reconstruction of egress stair for accessibility. It's broken out at 10,000.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
It's in the 253 amount.
Yeah, it's under 253.
Is this the latest one?
That's the original. But it has the land.
Yeah, but it's changed.
Did you see it? I got it right here.
This is the new update.
Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't bring it with me. Yeah.
It's halfway down.
All right.
Under historic preservation. so-
Historic preservation, that would be. Any other comments, questions? So can we make a motion on that? For the lift, handicap bathroom and stairways.
And the stairwell. I'll make that motion.
I'll
Second it.
Okay, roll call vote. Caroline?
Caroline Alban, yes.
Chris?
Kristen Cantara Oliveri, yes.
Victor
Vic?
Farias, yes.
Joanne Bentley, yes.
Alexander Silva, yes.
John Brandt, yes?
Richard Calderon, yes.
Rick Mancini, yes.
All right. We still have some other projects, but that puts us right now at $776,529.
It's actually, John,
Mm,
I did the figuring based on, we also have to take out the bonds and the administrative and then
Right.
the amount to put into community housing. So it actually, with those taken out, it actually puts us at 405,811 is all we have left.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna get to after.
Oh, okay.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
But we also have to put, since we're not doing anything under community housing, we have to put $177,161.
Well,
That is calculated in my amount.
Okay,
we
So
haven't
I
officially
came out with
decided that.
405,811 if somebody wants to double check that.
okay,
We haven't officially decided that, though. We're still going through
right.
voting.
I would say to keep a reserve on hand in case total funding doesn't add up to what we should think we're gonna get, that we put that in reserve. And put a hold on the rest of funding for this year. How does the board feel about that?
I would advocate for the seawall condition assessment. I don't think it's gonna damage our reserves.
Yeah, I will second, I
Significantly.
I'm in
agree.
agreement with that.
They've applied
I'm
3
in
Yeah,
years.
same here, yeah.
They've applied 3 years. I think it's a benefit to the city
Yeah.
wholeheartedly. If
I
not,
agree.
in
I
public
agree too.
view as often as we would like, that doesn't stop it from one day being. I went to go look at Blossom Road and Adirondack Farm this weekend, and the way I went past one of the seawalls, so who knows how that Welcome Center will be accessed in the future. This is all just building the bioreserve and North and South Watuppa Pond and everything that it stands for, I think. And I would rather have them looking for funding to fix it next year than looking for ways to do the study, personally.
Okay, yeah, I agree. It's a good project. I mean, they do a great job at getting other funding, and this would be the avenue for them to go for the money. So the,
Take a vote.
North Watuppa Pond, well, we didn't close out, so we can, this would be, the North Watuppa Pond is looking for,
No, right, that's what I was saying, we were gonna do a roll call,
yeah, but we
Oh, okay.
decided not to cut the funding off, so.
No, right, that's what I'm saying. Okay, I'll stay quiet.
So the North Watuppa Pond would fall under preservation. They're looking for $82,500 for the, I don't know if they're calling that a study,
Conditions assessment, right?
condition assessment. Can I have a
I'll make a motion.
second?
I'll second.
Roll call vote, Caroline?
Caroline Alpin, yes.
Chris?
Kristen Cantara Oliveri, yes.
Vic?
Victor Farias, yes.
Joanne Bentley, yes.
Alexander Silva, yes.
John Brandt, yes?
Richard Calderon, yes.
Rick Mancini, yes.
Okay.
I think we can stop there.
So can I have a motion to suspend funding now, or?
I think we should at least say that we don't want to go forward with the academic. It was the lowest rated project, just, so the public knows, it was the lowest rated project on our square sheet. We don't have to approve bad projects if we have money left over. We could save our money for better projects that would maybe create more affordable housing. That's my personal view.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice project, it has 3 affordable housing units, but I think the 350 on our end is much, I think, a wiser spending it on another project that's gonna offer substantial housing instead of 3 units. Instead of bit by bit, I'd rather wait till we get something that we can stick our teeth into, so.
Yeah, no, I'm in agreement too. I mean, I think if this project were had at least, and I'm just throwing a number out there, even if it was a bigger facility that, let's say house, maybe 50 apartments and, they would get like, 15 or something like that, then I think that would be good. But just for the amount of money and then just 2, maybe 3, it's just,
Yeah.
the math is just not adding up, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with our money in reserves and then the next year's allotment, we'll have close to, I think, 600,000 for any project that would create, 20 or 30 units like the example we saw in Brewster.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So it would be the amount.
Okay, so can I have a motion to stop funding at the amount we're at right now?
Can someone read the amount we have left over, please?
Do we vote not to
I-
approve it, or we just don't vote?
I think it
Vote
comes
10
to
funding.
my number's 322,706. If somebody wants to
Okay.
Can you
do
say
the
that one more
math.
time,
That's
Kristen?
taking into account that we put the 177, 161 into community housing. That's taking the administrative fees. That's taking of 45,000. It's taking our bond amount of 359,292 from our original total. So my total right now is 322,706.
Okay.
That's after doing the seawalls.
Just to let people know, our bond we have on the bioreserve land, 78,000. The Mount Hope Bike Path is 60,000. Then the Fire Museum and Central Fire Station is 221,292. and our administration is 45,000.
And that's the amount paid for those bonds, right, you said?
Correct. Mhm. So, did we have a motion to suspend funding?
I'll make a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Yeah.
Second,
Okay. Roll call vote, Caroline?
Caroline Aubin, yes.
Chris?
Kristen Cantara Oliveri, yes.
Vic?
Nefarious, yes?
Joanne Bentley, yes?
Alexander Silva, yes?
John Brandt, yes?
Richard Calderon, yes.
Rick Mancini, yes.
Alrighty, let's see. The only thing I have for discussion is our next scheduled meeting, the third Thursday of the month. How does that suit everybody?
You said on a Thursday?
Yeah.
Third.
No, that's Monday.
Monday.
Third week, what did I say, third Thursday?
Yeah,
Monday?
so I was like, wait, I'm
Third week of the month on a Monday.
On a Monday.
that works for me. So, all right, so we're in March right now, so the third week. on a
Stand
Monday.
by.
So the next one,
Yes, stand by.
so the next meeting is April 17th. If we were to have a regular meeting.
Yeah.
13th is okay.
So that works for me. I'm not sure
Yep,
if
oh,
anybody
works
else.
for me. Yep.
Works for
That
me.
works for me.
Okay.
Works for me.
Everyone's-
Works for me.
Could be all right for me.
Okey dokey. We don't need to take a motion or vote on that, do we? No.
I wouldn't think so.
No.
Okay. Let's see,
I do have a question now that everyone's here. If it's a regular meeting, I mean, there's no rules or really regulations, kind of like in public, who I try to follow because that's what I do professionally, full time. If there's any action items we want to talk about, can we just email Sandy?
email Sandy.
So that way,
This one, we're probably gonna finish up. Sandy will start to put the projects together, and we'll get ready to go in front of city council before the budget process. That way we get heard a lot sooner, and everything goes smoother, and if there's anything that we have to go back and do, we have time.
no, yeah, I was just saying, just as a regular scheduled meeting for the board.
Yeah, we'll, anything you wanna put on the agenda, yeah, shoot her an email or me an email. And, I know we're gonna, we'll start getting things together where we look over applications. We also gotta look over our master plan. We haven't updated that. We just normally use the same one, so we might look over that. But I wanted to start with a strategic planning, then we'll lay out the rest of the
Yeah,
summer.
I can help
work.
out with that if you guys need
You
help.
know, we want to do some training. I don't expect us to be all experts in, you know, that end, but it does add a little more to our will when we know what could happen in a historic preservation building. I don't know if, I did have my first steering meeting. This is kind of up year for the CPC in general, because,
Could you just say what the steering meeting, what the committee is for the public?
oh, it's the steering coalition meeting for CPA. And I'm one of 8 members on it, on the seat, on the board.
And this is for the state, right?
This is for the state.
Okay.
And TPL represents CPA. They take care of our, all the hardware for computers and all that stuff. They pay all the bills and do everything. But they're getting too big to take care of us, and we're getting too big not to have somebody. So we're looking at 2 different places that handle coalitions like us to manage our, because right now they manage all of our personnel, which would be Stewart and Chase and a couple other people. They take care of their health benefits and all this. So they're looking at 2 different places right now. If that doesn't work out, next step for CPC would be to become a 501c. Then they do everything themselves. But that's about it. They are, in the funding end, they're looking at a 34% decrease this year. And they used to have, DOR used to project for us, but they don't do that anymore. We're sort of like the stepchild. And TP used to do it for us too, but when it's guessing, they decided to back off of that because some communities might use that as like a golden number and it's just an estimate, so they don't do that anymore. But besides that, they're looking into the usual ways of making other extra funds with the housing, selling housing, all this, so just, you know, but interesting, you know, the meeting, so that's all I have to add. Anyone else?
I'll wait till the new business, like, regular meeting.
Last thing was update from Stuart.
Oh, Stuart, on the,
That's the coalition update, okay.
yeah, that's what I just basically went over. Yeah. Okay. I guess we can have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Okay, roll call vote. Caroline?
Caroline Alban, yes.
Chris?
Kristen Cantara Oliveri, yes.
Rick Farias, yes.
Joanne Bentley, yes.
Alexander Silva, yes.
John Brandt, yes?
Richard Calderon, yes.
Rick Mancini, yes.
All righty, meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Y'all have a good night.